last night, Russia launched an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile. So,
like confirmed?
Yes, yeah, they tested one last night, hit Ukraine, and so they're going to start hitting military facilities, according to Putin. We could play this first clip here. This came out yesterday, and then after you see this, I'm going to show you what the sentiment is amongst our defense leaders.
And we believe it is a mistake on the part of the United States to destroy the system that was established by the Missile Treaty in 2019. We see that the United States and their allies are now considering and has successfully tested their capabilities to deploy advanced missile systems in different parts of the world. And their exercises routinely include the use of such weapons. Russia has unilaterally refused to deploy intermediate and small-range missiles until we see similar weapons deployed by the United States in a region of the world. The use of the novel system, which was essentially an operational test, was carried out in response to the decisions made by the United States and their allies. And the further actions will be considered and decided based on what we see from them.
Brother, the translator's horrible. Brother, Kelly, keep that there. Do you guys see those phones over there? Go back. You see those two phones?
Yeah.
One of them is kill everybody. The other one is like, I changed my mind.
Has phones?
Those are serious phones, bro.
Those look like from 1980.
No, but those phones, they connect to somewhere dangerous.
They only have like one purpose. If that phone rings, you know exactly what it is. Basically.
You can't hack that one.
Can I explain what he said? Because the Russian, because my mother sent it to me, and the Russian translation is horrible.
The guy
Basically, what he was saying in Russian is that as the United States, allowed the new systems, the new ICBM systems, to be used within the territory of Russia.
Yeah.
They were trying to not use their ICBMs inside the Ukrainian territory.
Right.
So now that missiles were dropped from UK, like U.S. missiles were dropped from Ukraine to Russia, they're going to start using long-range weapons. What does this mean? That they can hit targets that weren't available before. That's all.
Now they're going to start bombing the crap out of people.
Yes.
Well, like people aren't appreciating how crazy is what we're doing. Like even in the Cold War, even during the Korean War, like even when there's nuclear missiles in Cuba, we didn't escalate to this degree because like what we're doing right now, like Ukraine isn't capable of hitting targets with these long range missiles without our intelligence coordinates. Like we have to basically choreograph and map out these spots.
So we're directly in a war with Russia.
Yes.
Because I hate hearing this proxy crap, Brandon, that they're talking about. We are actively helping another group. We are at war with Russia, and I keep telling people, you are messing with a dude that is not going to be effing around. And that's why I've been messaging my dumbass friends from California that were like, Trump was going to cause World War III. I messaged this guy yesterday. I go, where are you at now? I go, we have never been this close since Cuban Missile Crisis. Silence.
And this
nothing.
And this is Blinken and Sullivan. So like, I have to ask, what is their outcome they want? Because they
tell me. You guys are almost done.
So like, did they have a death wish? And Republicans are supporting this too. Like the rhinos, like Mike Johnson, Lindsey Graham. Like, are they genuinely trying to have like a apocalyptic event, like where they wipe out half the population?
You tell me, because I mean, what good is going to come from this? What good is going to come from pissing off this guy that you're cornering him? You're putting him in a corner, Rob. And when I tell you guys, I worked at a nuclear missile base. You guys have no idea what the hell you're even thinking about what this is like. What a nuclear, just one single warhead. And I told you this, Rob. One of them gets launched. Everybody's panicking and everybody's launching their shit. And they're over.
And they're normalizing it now. Like people at the Atlantic Council, which is like the epitome of evil, they're saying like, well, it wouldn't be that bad if Russia used like a short range
tactical nuke.
Yeah. Like what are you talking about?
That is the most stupid phrase on the planet. Who made that up? Tactical.
Yeah, I mean it's not tactical. It's a nuke.
It's a nuke.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill hundreds of thousands of people.
So they're trying to normalize this type of content or whatever, like mindset right now. So
who's they?
Like
globalists.
the Atlantic Council, Blinken, Jake Sullivan, the National.
Blinken, but
This
bro,
guy.
Go ahead, Rob.
This is a great video.
Show this. Brother,
Show
she's
this,
hot.
show this.
She's hot. Go ahead.
This guy is like as swampy as it gets. So he was the former Secretary of Defense. He's held all sorts of positions like not press secretary, like chief of staff, OMB, everything like that. And this is why he thinks that we're doing the right thing. Run it.
Just want to get your thoughts on why that shift seemed to be necessary now, especially when we're talking about a lame duck president and administration and a new one coming in talking about conflict resolution.
Well, let's not make any mistake here. Putin is the aggressor. Putin's the invader. And Putin has continued to be aggressive in Ukraine, launching a huge missile attack against Ukraine. And now with almost 10 to 11,000 North Koreans that are going to be deployed into battle as well. So it's very clear you can't just stand back and allow Putin to continue his kind of aggression without a response. And I think that's why the decision was made to give Ukraine the ability to strike those bases from which Russia is launching attacks on Ukraine. It's the right thing to do in order to give Ukraine the ability to defend itself against this attack.
Russia also amended its nuclear posture. It had conveyed that it was planning to do so a number of months back. I guess all of this, to put a sharp point on it, how is it not escalatory?
Yeah, explain that to me.
Well, look, Putin has been threatening to use low-yield nuclear weapons for almost 2 years of the war in Ukraine, and that hasn't happened. And the reason it hasn't happened is he knows if he crosses that line, that the United States would be forced to respond. And the last thing I think the United States needs and Russia needs is a nuclear war. So I don't expect that they are going to take that step.
They all are saying that same rhetoric. It's like every network is saying it. I was on Piers and they were saying it. Well, he's threatened before. Okay, let's play games with him. Yeah. Let's not take Putin serious.
Look around a little bit.
This whole thing, this is what they wanted, because there was a big freak out session at the end of the Soviet Union when it collapsed because the military budget got slashed, the defense contractors were shriveling up and dying. So they're like, all right, what's the next thing going to be? Russian presidents are asking, hey, we're going to end the Warsaw Pact. Could we be part of NATO? Nothing. Crickets.
Nothing. Zero.
And then the whole agreement to reunify Germany when Russia was occupying Germany was that like 3 different people, the Secretary of Defense of the U.S., the PM of Britain, the PM of Germany, said, we will not move NATO an inch past Germany. We promise. And not only they moved it like 3 countries past Germany since
That's what
then.
I'm saying.
Like, of course they're going to be pissed. What are we thinking?
Oh, Brandon.
And by the way, we forgave $5 billion or $10 billion to Ukraine from the loans they
forgave our money. We gave them a forgiveness loan.
Yeah. Can you put it like in a timeline? All right. So what you said.
Yeah, we wasted a bunch. So Soviet
made a pact from the pact. We made a pact. We're going to move.
Well, yeah. First
countries later.
First of all, allegedly they killed Patton, who wanted to take out Russia right away after the end of World War II. But then we spent 40 years in the Cold War, spending a ton of money on that. That was the big, cash cow for the defense contractors. Then Soviet Union collapses in 1990, and at that point in time, we say, hey, you guys aren't doing too well. Could we make a deal where we reunify Germany? We won't expand NATO. We know that's what you're worried about. They say, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so we do that. We reunify Germany. Then, 1 year later, we already start encroaching past that. And, within that decade, we add 3 countries to NATO that are farther along than Germany. And 3 different Russian presidents asked, hey, could we be part of NATO? And they say no to all of them. And I found out the other day that Jake Sullivan and Hillary Clinton and Anthony Blinken, they all were super critical of Obama because he wasn't hard enough on Russia, according to them.
Because they were mad that he wasn't more aggressive.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because don't forget what you're going to say, because we need a boogeyman. Okay, we need when Osama bin Laden was killed. There was no who was first? Iraq, Saddam Hussein, bin Laden, and then they're like, this is a war on terror. Okay, a faceless. It's no person. It's just terror, or Bush Jr. would call it terror. A war on terror. A demon, another demon. They need a boogeyman. Putin is their boogeyman, and the guy's like, guys, I don't want to fight. Just leave me alone. Stop getting close. Leave everything as it is. And he's fighting back. And this isn't, by the way, we're not pro-Putin. We're just anti-war. Leave the freaking guy alone. And it was Joe Biden, okay? It was in 2000. Oh, damn, was it 22? He invited Putin. He said, listen, I don't want a full-out war, but you could do a minor incursion and we won't get mad. You know what that means? Go on attack. Go on attack, and then we're going to respond with Putin this, Putin bad, Putin price hike. It's all bullshit, bro.
And I forgot to mention, too, in 2014, we overthrew the democratically elected president of Ukraine, who was not willing to be part of NATO. We were asking him, hey, like, come through, be part of NATO. And he's like, no, I'm closer to Putin than you guys. And so the CIA funds the National Endowment Fund, this NGO that basically started the protests in Ukraine that ousted the president, so that they created like a bunch of George Floyd-style protests, and the president ended up leaving, and then we install our own president there, and then that's when all the shady stuff starts going on with Biden and Ukraine and Clinton.
Who was the guy that was out?
Yanukovych.
That's right.
Yeah, so he had to flee to Russia.
Oh,
so
man.
we overthrew their government, and now that we installed our own person, all this is happening.
Oh, that's what's his name is. That's what Zelensky is. He's a puppet that's laundering the money. They send him all this money. Dude, look how simple it is. It's as simple as the Epstein going there, blackmail for everything that you do. The other one is you give them $8 billion. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. How much have we given them so far, Ukraine?
Like $300 billion between all the countries.
Well, we've given them over $150 billion. You give them all this money, America. Oh, we're the pin. We love them. And then they need to buy the bullets. They need defense. They need to build. And then it comes from these same people.
Yeah,
it's money laundering.
And they try. They have the audacity to say, like, well, guys, most of it works its way back to us. Like, no, it doesn't work its way back to us. It works its way back to the defense contractors coming from the taxpayers. So it's like
we're
a wealth transfer that we didn't sign up for. And how's that? Like, you need congressional approval to declare war, but we don't even have that.
Nothing.
Like, and we don't even know if Biden's the one behind this, which I don't think he is. Like, he doesn't have a coherent thought these days.
He doesn't.
He's been plotting this for years.
No,
yeah,
but Joe Biden. He might have kind of had an idea just years ago, but Joe Biden has not made one decision every time he's been in front of the camera. That's why I'm wasting a breath talking about him. Since he's been in, he's been like, well, they told me I can't. Who the hell is they? Who's telling you? He hasn't made one decision. It's the Blinken, it's the Sullivans, it's all the people that are
very spooky about Blinken, by the way?
What?
So, remember I talked about that book, The Committee of 300, with this thing called was it the RIIA, the Royal Institute for International Affairs. So they're the ones who are like the basically boss of the CIA who tells us what to do, like in terms of foreign affairs. They're now called the Chatham House. They rebranded because I guess they started getting a bad rap.
Yeah.
In September of this year, Anthony Blinken goes to the Chatham House and then leaves with like sort of a pretty different narrative about the Ukraine thing. So
weird.
I feel like he's getting some marching orders from the Chatham House.
Oh, for sure. 4 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, he was in front of the camera and was just blatantly saying, we have to rush $8 billion more to Ukraine before January 20th.
Yeah, and
nobody's saying it.
And Jake Sullivan's calling for conscription in Ukraine.
Oh my God!
Like what?
What, does it work for the Ukrainian government? Or
No.
does it work for the United States? I don't
Jake
know
Sullivan's the NSA.
Jake Sullivan's one of our guys. He's one of the guys that wears the suits and just talks out of his ass.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think about the whole situation?
I hope we don't die. And I saw that Russia is mass producing these nuclear blast mobile missiles. Like, there was a video that saw on Twitter, and it's terrifying to think that once they start doing that, there's a reason why they're doing it. And unfortunately, it's not for the people of Russia. You know who they're doing that for? The elites of Russia, the people in the Russian government. These pods that they're making can only sustain life for 48 hours. So these are to withstand the initial blast in case something happens.
Oh my gosh.
You don't create these things and mass produce them, these shelters, and they look like shipping containers.
I saw
That's
them.
What so you saw. They look like shipping containers, but you can stay inside for 48 hours, but it's not long-term solutions to the problem, but you don't start mass producing these unless you're worried that war is going to break out like this.
Oh man, and they're pushing us for it.
So
they're pushing us.
Do you think that they genuinely think that Russia won't do anything, or do you think they want something like this to happen?
I think they want. Brent, there's no way they don't think he's going to do anything. I think they're playing with someone that they've never pushed him this far. Like, he's warned them how many times. He said on the Tucker interview, I've tried to talk to Clinton. I've tried to talk to anybody. They want a war because when's the last time we got to a real active, serious war?
Yeah.
When was it? It was Iraq.
World War II? Oh, yeah.
No, I'm saying like Iraq, which it's still, we still have soldiers around the world, but like we need something new. They want fresh blood, but I'm telling you right now, they don't give a shit about human lives. They don't care.
They hate it, actually.
They hate it, and they don't care about our families going and going over there fighting. My cousins who are in the Marines and shit, it's not going to be their kids. It's not going to be, well, you think Jake Sullivan and them are going to send their fucking kids to fight in Iraq? Sorry for my language. No. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. And I know we're saying that we can't wait for January 20th. They're pushing this dude. Guys, 2 months is a long time. Yeah. It takes one. And think about this. What if ready for this? What if Ukraine has one of these rogue guys, Rob, that takes a little tactical nuke and goes into Russia and it detonates. And this guy dies and he kills a couple. Then it's over. And that's what people are failing to understand. This whole, let's have a conversation. No. It takes these little actors that you don't know about that can grab a nuke, because if they're going to have a weapon, trust me, they already have it. Yeah. They already have it, Brandon. Or even less than a nuke. A big explosion to try to, because they already attempted up on Putin's life. Remember that thing? Who was that guy?
Oh, the the rebel guy.
The rebel guy that they shot out of the freaking plane.
Yeah.
These things could happen, and people, guys, we're flirting with something that I don't think, Brandon, I think that they want a war with this guy.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you have to question if we even know everything about this, because like they cut off RT and Sputnik right away when this popped off, and I almost like it's like we've been throwing stones at somebody for years and years and years and tempting them, and then once they do something to defend themselves, we're like, oh, that's the bad guy.
Yep.
It's the same thing that Israel did to Al Jazeera. They had an Al Jazeera headquarters in Israel, and they made them cease operations. You can go and look that up.
Yep.
But why would you make a news publication stop reporting on the things unless the things you were doing may not be above board?
Like we've seen, like
seen this happen before.
We've seen this happen before, Brandon.
Like Daryl Cooper brought up.
Yeah, everyone
Everybody
that
freaked
pay
out about.
attention to history. All these war hawks, they're ramping up the war rhetoric. The average guy doesn't, they can't see through it. And we haven't even talked about nuclear doctrine. Like, Russia has a first strike doctrine. So like, if they feel threatened enough,
they can strike.
And
he changed it recently.
Yeah, he just changed it. And Vinny, you will know more about this. The chain of command in Russia to launch the nuke, it's way different. You know, like in the United States, you need approval from the president. Then it goes.
Yeah, there's launch codes. Yeah.
Then the launch codes, and even on the nuclear facilities, you need 2 guys in different side of the room. They need to turn a key and press a button.
Missileers.
And then 6 or 7 of the stations, they all do it at the same time, and the soldiers don't even know which nuke is going to launch.
Yeah, exactly.
In Russia, it's direct. Like,
it's just him.
It's just him.
Jeez.
One button. Out.
Gone.
And that's if you have a doctrine, because what you said about some guy in Ukraine under no orders launching a nuclear device with no doctrine. Like, we're playing with fire here. People
nuclear winter fire.
Chill, chill. Chill.
Yeah, why aren't there protests outside the White House or Capitol right now demanding to stop this?
No, because you know what? It's filled up with people that are transgender that want the bathrooms, because that's more important, Brandon, than the freaking end of the world. Rob, go ahead, because I want to wrap up.
There was that movie from the 80s. Do you remember it? The nuke movie, The Day After.
Oh, I was going to say Sum of All Fears is a good one.
It came out. This is so odd. It came out November 20th of 1983, so just a few days ago. Oh. That was the anniversary of that movie coming out. And if you know anything about the Cold War and the end of the Cold War, it was Ronald Reagan watching The Day After, that 80s TV show starring none other than Steve Guttenberg from Police Academy. Somehow Steve Guttenberg helped de-escalate the Cold War to the point where Ronald Reagan picked up the phone and they started having conversations about de-escalating nuclear tensions. So it's just weird that anniversary happens right where we find ourselves in the same days where we're launching ICBM missiles from one country to another at war.
Weird. And Rob, you mentioned, what you just mentioned, did you mention something to JFK? What'd you say?
Oh, today is the anniversary. Well, Humberto brought it up. Humberto, you go ahead.
Today is the 61st anniversry of him getting accidentally shot by a magic bullet.
Yeah. So I do want to take that moment and say that was besides 9/11, I think the assassination, the murder of JFK was one of the worst moments in this country. I don't think it gets worse than that.
It's a coup.
And all the implications of who was involved: CIA, mafia, FBI. Cuban nationals, you name it, Lyndon B. Johnson, all these people. It's one of the worst days, and I really hope to God that Trump releases the JFK files. Like, if he doesn't make a promise, if he doesn't come through on that, or the Twitter files and all this code and all that stuff, I'm going to lose a lot of respect. Yeah. So it better happen because we deserve it. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.